The guy has evolved so much since 2003 when he was #1.
If his serve is in place, I mean, he's tough to beat for anybody all the time.
I think he's qualified for the Masters Cup for 8 years in a row. It's impossible to do that with just one shot.
The greats of American tennis set a high standard for today's generation. One player didn't shy away from the expectation. 2003 US Open champion, the last American to be ranked world #1, Andy Roddick.
I get extremely humbled when you look at the list of names who have been a year-end #1, and to be on that list is, you know, something that I don't. Still, it's tough to believe in. I think that's something that is nice because no one can take it away. You know, no matter what happens from this point on, you've had that distinction, and that's a pretty big honor.
One of the most highly respected players on the ATP World Tour, Andy Roddick has enjoyed the pressure and the adulation. The two are inseparable.
You know, playing in an empty stadium, I promise you, it wouldn't be nearly as fun. You know, as much as they enjoy the atmosphere of coming to a match, we enjoy the atmosphere of playing one in front of them. So it's a give and take that I think, at least on our side, we can certainly appreciate it.
Roddick is renowned for his intensity on court. Not so well known is his work for others less fortunate. After the recent flooding in Australia, he was a pivotal figure in some much-needed fundraising.
Please, I know I did a very small part this week with giving money for aces, but you know, everybody should give something. I'm happy to double my contribution for this week, whatever it was.
Tennis, I would say the best sport in the world, the one that always steps up when it counts, one that you know, we have different governing bodies with the ATP, and the WTA, and the ITF, and the Grand Slams, but they get together in time of need and they make a difference.
A-Rod has made 4 Grand Slam finals in a glittering 11-year career on the ATP World Tour, but still he takes nothing for granted. The expectation is something he thrives on.
I mean, I think, you know, nerves, it always has a negative connotation, but to me, I think if you care about something enough, you're going to be nervous about it. You know, whether that's in tennis, whether, you know, that's everyday life. I mean, if you care about something, you're going to, you know, be anxious about it, or you're going to kind of think about it a lot, and I think that constitutes nerves. I think the thing that separates the top guys is just how you deal with it.
Amazingly, Roddick has qualified for the Barclays ATP World Tour finals 8 times in succession. Fanatical preparation is the key to this consistency.
For me, I'm a big believer in routine. You know, doing the same thing over and over, at least trying to create, you know, some sense of normalcy. You know, whether that's, you know, eating at the same times, or, you know, just making sure you stretch before, having the same routine. I think that makes the thing a little bit more normal, a little bit more familiar.
Many see this as the greatest era in men's tennis. Roddick has his own theory.
It's become a lot more about legs. If you can't move, and if you don't move well, then you don't have much of a shot at being a top tennis player. You have to be a great athlete now instead of just a shot maker.
Another change is the increasing height of many top players. It's all part of the evolutionary process.
Yeah, when I first came out, I was one of the bigger guys on tour, and now I'm walking around the locker room. I'm extremely average in height, anyways. And you're seeing these guys that are 6'7", 6'9", that can still run around. I mean, I remember watching a guy like Rosé growing up, and he was 6'5", and people thought he was just massive. And now it's kind of par for the course.
Now 28, having enjoyed so much success so young, Andy Roddick is one of the wiser heads on the ATP World Tour. But age won't blunt that edge.
Well, I enjoy it. You know, there's always that next group kind of coming in and trying to make their way, and it's you know, tennis is a little bit of an ego thing. You know, you want to stick around and you want to show that you can still play well, and you know, so that's motivation has never been the issue for me.
Next week on ATP World Tour Uncovered, a special report from the climax to the Latin American swing, the Abierto Mexicano Telcel in Acapulco. And they call him the dog. We talked to 22-year-old Ukrainian sensation, Alexander Dolgopolov. Until then, don't forget to log on to atpworldtour.com for your 24/7 breaking news. See you next week.